black bean soup, crunchy tostones, and arroz con leche. Hi friends, welcome to Cooking Live with Lala. I'm Lala. I'm a home cook, professional baker, and plant-based eater. Whether you are also plant-based or just trying to get more plants into your diet, this show is for you. Let's start cooking. We're going to start today with our creamy black bean soup. I've already cooked 1 pound of black beans from dried. As you can see, they are cooked. If you don't want to cook black beans from dried for this recipe, you could definitely use canned. I would use 4 cans of black beans. I would drain them, rinse them, and drain them again and get rid of that cooking liquid. I don't know if you know this or not, but specifically for black beans, but I think of beans in general, that cooking liquid is kind of what holds that thing that kind of makes you fart when you eat beans. So drain and rinse your beans, people. So for this recipe, we're going to actually start with our sofrito. The sofrito is just aromatics. It's onions, peppers, the seasoning, garlic. So I'm going to chop 1 pepper, an onion, and some garlic to get that cooking. All right. Traditionally, green pepper is really used. You know, I'm kind of going off of a Cuban black bean soup here. I would say I'm inspired by. I'm not going to say this is traditional, but I do believe traditionally they would use a green pepper. Boy, this guy does not want to peel. But you know, I don't really like green pepper. I really never have. I don't typically use it. If I really had to make something traditional, I would do it, but I don't. I'm cooking at home. I'm cooking what I like, what my family likes. So I do what I want. You could do what you want to. All right. Sydney says it sounds so good. Hello, Sydney, and one of your favorite soups. This is so easy. You know, with the exception of cooking the beans from scratch, if you were making this from canned beans, you could have this ready in under half an hour. Def Trip. Hello, Def Trip. You guys, don't be scared. I'd love to see everybody in the chat. Hi, Tia. I didn't see you up there. I wonder why some people's names come out blue. Oh, you guys are like the moderators or whatever. That's why you have, what is that, a wrench? Do you guys see that, or is that only on my screen? Bun Bun. Hi, Bun Bun. So happy to see you. All right, I'm going to cook these onions in about a tablespoon of olive oil. You guys do not have to use oil at all. If you don't want, you could definitely saute these in water. All right, I want to get a really good flavor on these onions and peppers and the garlic, you know, because that's going to go, that flavor is going to really affect the soup. If I undercook it, there's just not going to be as much flavor. All right, I'm going to cut this pepper real quick. I love watching the ways people cook peppers. You ever notice like everybody has their own method? For me, it's like, how can I get the most maximum pepper and not get seeds all over the place? So this method is what works for me. But cooking it in oil make it more flavorful. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a mouthfeel that happens when there is some oil in your food. Oh, you guys see the little, what is that, a wrench? I'm sorry. I'm not like talented or gifted when it comes to what tools are. I can use them, and a lot of times I know which ones to use, but I just don't always know what they're called. Why are you saying eyes without a face, Papa? Didn't you put that song on yesterday? Can you guys hear that? Those onions cooking? Oh, you can hear. Well, you can hear it because you're here. All right. Guys, got to keep your work surfaces clean, man. How can you get anything done if everything's dirty? Hello. Okay, we're going to talk about the arroz con leche. So it's just basically rice pudding. A lot of cultures have some form of rice pudding. I want to say that, for a time being, that was a really popular dessert, especially for more of the less fortunate communities, because if they had leftover rice or they didn't have many ingredients, they could throw this together very easily. I know where my family came from, rice pudding was something that would happen from time to time, and it was very cheap dessert that could be made quickly, easily, and basically everybody had, availability to those ingredients. But so today I'm going to do just more of like a Caribbean inspired one. I'm not following a recipe. I did read a couple recipes just to make sure I wasn't missing something. This is what I've got so far. All I've done is just cook the rice in water. It has a little lemon juice in it. It's supposed to have cinnamon sticks in it, which I thought I had and I did not have. So I threw some cinnamon in here. I think it might end up being more cinnamony than it was supposed to, but that's okay. I really like messing around with food and trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. That really helps me learn. You guys should not be afraid to mess up in the kitchen. Just get in there, try some things. This is how people learn. Unless you go to school, this is how people learn. All right, I'm gonna throw a couple things in here and put this back on the stove. I've got some sweetened condensed milk, and this is actually dairy free. I was lucky to see that I had this in my cupboard. I think I bought it a couple months ago and just ended up not using it. So this is already sweetened. So we're actually not going to put any sugar in this dish. Oh, that is thick. I've never actually used this before. I mean, I used it before I was plant-based, but wow. I kind of want to get a spoon and taste it. Okay, all that cream was sitting on the top. I think that just that the fats and sugar separated a little bit, but that's normal. Cannot get this lid off. Woo, there it goes. All right. just cashew milk that I have in the fridge. I'm just going to pour some of this in here, and then I'm going to put it on the stove and let it cook for a while. Stirring frequently so nothing burns. Some people said this cooks in 20 minutes. Some people said it cooks in 40 or 45 minutes. So we're going to see. I'm going to add a little bit more liquid. I'm pretty sure that even though the rice is cooked, it's going to continue to absorb liquids. All right, back on the stove this goes. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Tia says, I love arroz con leche. Do I have to use canned coconut milk or refrigerated B2? Be okay. Oh, yeah. So I think if you didn't have the sweetened condensed milk, then you could just use refrigerated. You might have to cook it longer. Hi, Heather. Yay, so nice to see you. That's so exciting. I love people coming on the chat. Let me leave this over here. All right, we got to get this garlic chopped up for the black bean soup. All right, I'm going to do 4 cloves of garlic. I know there's so many methods out there for chopping garlic or for removing the peels from garlic. If you have a favorite method, put it in the comments. I'd love to read what other people like to do. Ooh. I've tried all those different methods. You know the method where you throw the garlic in like a jar and you shake vigorously? I didn't really have a lot of luck with that method. To me, this just peeling like this works just fine. Sometimes I will smash it, but not with this knife because this knife is not a tool like that. Heavy duty knives are tools like that. So I'm just going to give these kind of a rough chop. I am moving, you guys, this next week. And I'm moving to a small town. I cannot believe I'm moving to a small town. I can't remember the last time I lived in a small town. One thing I am worried about living in a small town is like the lack of different kinds of grocery stores. Like where I live now, I have like 3 Asian grocery stores within like pretty decent driving distance. I don't know what I'm going to do without my Asian driving stores. I think I'm going to have to come back down to town sometimes to do some grocery shopping. There is a Costco in the town to the north and the town to the south. So Costco won't really be a problem. Let's just say it's so small that there's only like 2 King Soopers in the whole town. So I know it's not like a one stoplight town, but it's pretty small. All right, I'm going to throw my garlic in. All right, we're getting some color on the aromatics, and that's good. That's what we want. One time I used a ceramic tool, knife as a tool. My mom yelled at me. The first time I had ceramic knives, within the first week, maybe it was like the first day or 2, I used it as a tool and I broke one. Like right off the bat, right after getting it, I broke one. I was like, let me try to smash this or whatever I did. Yeah, it didn't work out so great. Sydney asks, how did I learn to cook all this food? So most of the food that I'm cooking today, not the arroz con leche, but the black bean soup and the tostones, my husband is Cuban. And, you know, when we got together, I didn't know a lick about Cuban food. I knew nothing. So I would literally stand in the kitchen with my husband's mom, who supposedly didn't speak any English. I don't know about that. And me speaking very poor Spanish, almost no Spanish. So we didn't talk. I would just stand in the kitchen with her and I would just watch her because if you know, like old school women who've been cooking a long time, they don't measure anything. They just dump some of this and some of that. And so I just like took notes and learned. And honestly, that was the best way for me to learn. I could read 100 recipes, but I'm never going to learn what I learned standing in her kitchen and watching her cook. Am I missing something? All right. So we've got the garlic in here. I can smell the garlic, which tells me it has cooked enough. This is what it looks like right now. It's just 1 yellow pepper, an onion. I used a sweet onion like I always do. You could use the onion of your choice. I think what would be more traditional would probably be a yellow onion, but I'm going to use what I want. This is, let's see, what do I have in here? I have garlic powder, chili, cumin, oregano, a little bit of cayenne. You could definitely leave the cayenne out if you don't care for it. I only have a 1/4 cup. It's not going to give it much heat, but it's, just a little bit. So I'm going to pour that in. I'm going to let this cook for like 1 more minute. All right. All right, I'm going to add the tomatoes. I've just got just a can of Hunt's Petite. These probably came from Costco, would be my guess. I'm going to throw that whole can in. I'm going to let the liquids from these tomatoes just deglaze whatever is cooked onto the bottom of this pan. Is it dangerous to use a non-heavy duty knife? No, I really like the ceramic knives. I actually love the ceramic knives. I think they work really great. They don't need to be, I haven't sharpened mine ever. I don't know if they ever will need sharpening, but so far, so good. Is that why I don't measure most things? The majority of things that I cook, I've cooked like 100 times. I really don't need measurements for those things. All right. Forgot I turned my heat down. All right, we're just going to get the rest of the ingredients in this pot. Black beans go in. So I saved about 1/2 cup of the cooking liquids. That's it, because I want this soup to be thick. The more liquid that you put in, the thinner the final result is going to be. All right, I've got a can of, this is just coconut milk that's going in. This is what's going to help it be creamy. I'm going to put that in now. If you don't want to buy coconut milk in a can, which is going to be more expensive than, let's say, like a plant-based milk that's refrigerated, you could use a refrigerated milk. I'd probably use a little bit less, and you might have to cook it a little bit longer. All right, and lastly, I'm going to get the juice of 1 lime in there. When you're picking out limes in the store, ones that aren't necessarily completely green and beautiful, those ones aren't necessarily the most juicy ones. Always squeeze your limes at the grocery store. You don't want to get a hard one. Those don't have much juice in them. All right, I'm just going to squeeze this in here, and then we're just going to let this cook. Oh, I'm missing one more ingredient. God, that was a juicy, juicy lime. All right. Why does canned coconut milk come with cream and canned coconut cream come with milk? So you said your husband is Cuban. What are your favorite Cuban meals? So before I went plant-based, like vaca frita was probably my favorite. I don't know. There's so many like amazing Cuban dishes. Honestly, people, if you're the kind of person that doesn't like to try foods from other cultures, man, you are really missing out. I recommend just go to a restaurant you've never been to. Pick a type of food that you've never had before. Go in there, ask them, what are your popular dishes, and sit down and eat them. And you're going to be so surprised because, man, Cuban food is so amazing. But as a plant-based eater, I eat a lot of rice and black beans, like so much. It's probably like the most important thing I learned from my husband's mom was how to properly cook black beans because, wow, they're super delicious, really filled with flavor. We eat a lot of plantains. We eat tostones, which we're going to have today. We eat maduros, which are the sweet plantains. We make picadillo, and we usually use, what do we usually use for that? What are those little soy things called? Oh, TVP. We usually use TVP. I think it would be really good with lentils. I don't know if I've tried that or not. All right, just come up the temperature. All right, we're going to start tostones in a second. What is TVP? Texturized, what is the first word? Vegetable protein. It's like little dried things that expand when you rehydrate them, and they're plant-based, and they're really good. Like measuring with your heart. Oh, Ben, you're so cute. Textured. Thank you. Textured. All right, plantains. All right, so if you've never cooked or even seen a plantain before, this is what it looks like. Looks like a banana, right? So tostones are a double fried crunchy plantain. For that, you want to use the greenest plantain you can buy. I actually went to so many stores and could not find green plantains. Usually I can't find darker plantains. This time I couldn't find green plantains. Even went to the Asian market and they were all speckled with black, and that's just not going to make a tostone. So you want to start with the greenest plantain. The green plantain is an unripe one. The black plantain is very ripe and very sweet, and that's used to make a sweet plantain dish. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is get this cut. You wouldn't want to eat this raw. It would be really, really gross. So I'm just going to cut 2 slits in this and attempt to peel it. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. The less ripe it is, the harder it is to peel, for sure. All right, got half of it off easily. Yay, all right. And I'm going to cut about 1-inch pieces. Awesome. There we go. And let's get this fryer ready to go. I'm going to use this little handy guy again so you could watch me fry this. I'm going to turn my heat up pretty high, almost to all the way up. I'm going to use a cast iron pan. It's going to hold the heat better. It should make our tostones crunchier. So Tia, you said that you love arroz con leche. What do you like in yours? I read that some people like to put raisins in theirs. I'm just really curious how other people make theirs. All right, I'm going to get some coconut oil in this. I do usually cook this with an olive oil, but I'm almost out of olive oil. We just want enough oil in the pan to be able to go partially up the side of the plantain when it goes in. So let's see how much this is, and then we'll add more if we need it. That arroz con leche, I always have to stop before I say arroz because I have to like concentrate to roll that R well. It's really so hard to roll that R sometimes. Forgot my train of thought. What's the difference between a plantain and a banana? Like, can I use green bananas? I would love to see what would happen if you tried green bananas. I've had fried bananas before when they were more ripe, but Tia says she makes her arroz con leche with a can of condensed milk and a can of evaporated milk and some cinnamon on top. I've seen some people do that. That's cool. All right, we've got a few things here for these plantains. When they come out, they're going to go just in this cute little dish that I just got to drain off the oil. Whoa. And we are going to smash them. I'm going to put some boiling water in here. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of salt in here and mix that up. After we smash them, we're going to put them in water and salt. All right, we're going to let that evaporate. So much stirring today. All right. So this water and salt thing is really just a little bit controversial. There are people who say that you must dip your smashed plantain into the water. There are other people who say it doesn't make a difference. So I did several years ago, I did a test to see, is there a noticeable difference between, so we're going to cook the plantain, we're going to smash it, we're going to dip it in this water, then we're going to cook it again, and that's going to make it crispy. So I did a test years ago to see, is there really a difference between the one dipped in the water with the salt and the one not? And I did see a noticeable difference. If you don't want to do it, you could definitely leave it out. Your plantain would still be good. You know, I just don't think things have to always be harder than we want them to be. Do you have any tip on how to make them? Bun, I'm going to show you exactly how to make these plantains. But let me just say, for anyone who is a young person or has never made them before, you are dealing with hot oil. So you do have to be very, very careful dealing with hot oil. And if you're a young person, get your parent supervision and probably permission. All right, everything's looking really, really good. My hair is so annoying today. I think this is going to be like, let's talk about food and sometimes Lala's hair channel. So I actually curled my hair today 4 times. Can you tell? Look at that. Isn't that sad? I really have not curled my hair or barely worn makeup for like 13 years. So today, you know, besides like curling my hair a couple weeks ago that I had trouble, today I actually used a regular curling iron and then it fell out. So then I got hairspray, curled it again with hairspray. It fell out, curled it again about 30 minutes before the show, thinking for sure this will stay. And then it fell out. So I just threw in a couple curls at the very last second. And I probably, by the time the show's over, it will be completely flat. I think I need to go to like school of how to curl your hair without it falling. Maybe I just don't have good hairspray. I don't really know. I hate when your hair just doesn't want to curl. Seriously. Still looks amazing. Cooking live with Lala's hair. That's very funny. I'm just waiting for this to get hot. I'm seeing a little bit of smoke, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in these plantains, and I am missing something. Why am I missing something? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Ooh, this guy is getting hot pretty fast. I already see smoke. I could have put my plantains in like a minute ago. I did turn my heat down a little bit. The thing with cast iron is it really holds on to that heat, so you have to be really careful when you're using a high heat with it. So we're just going to do a quick little cook on one side, flip them over, and then take them out. Pay attention. Let's see who asked me that. Bun Bun. This is how you cook the crispy tostone plantains. What's wrong? Oh, yeah, look, they're already cooking. The thing is, you want them to cook enough so that the middle starts to cook a little bit, and I'm afraid because my heat was too high, they may not smash properly. I don't really like cooking with this little stove top. It's a lot harder to control the temperature. All right, well, we're going to turn them and hope for the best. How about that? That one I can cook another minute. That guy's definitely cooked. Look at that guy. I like to give them a little wiggle to help them from sticking to the bottom. Some people would say they will unstick themselves when they were done. I don't always find that to be true. Whew. This one's kind of fat. I'm going to cook them a little bit on the sides. Did you guys hear, like, I don't think it's going to be a secret that, you know, some of us here live in the Denver area. There was hail so bad at a concert in Red Rocks last night that some people had to be hospitalized. Some people had broken bones. Like, I can't imagine what the hail was like that people got broken bones from hail. Those poor people. And then the Red Rocks Amphitheater put out a statement that was like, I'm so sorry that you guys got hurt. That was kind of like their statement. And that we'll talk to nature. I don't know. A lot of people say that the staff at Red Rocks didn't do anything to help. People were screaming and running and just kind of looked like a mess. All right, back to these tostones. All right, so we did our first little fry. I'm actually going to take this pan off the heat because it's still smoking, and I just don't want it to continue heating, but I don't want it to lose too much temperature either. All right. There is a device that you can buy that will smash plantains. I used to have one. I do not have one now. I don't know where it went. So I'm going to use the bottom of this cup. We're just going to give this guy just a little press, and then this is what he looks like. Just like a little smash guy. Then he gets dipped, and we're going to let him sit there for a second. I like to let a little bit of that water drain off. Water and oil doesn't go great together. This can definitely splatter. Again, if you're a young person, you would want help with this. The ones that smash easily, you can tell that they're more cooked in the middle as opposed to the ones that don't smash well. Don't over smash them because they'll fall apart. Just a little tiny smash. You guys, can I just remind you to please press that like button? This is a really good time. If you do like this video and you haven't liked it yet, please give it a little, should I say tickle the like button? Is that what some people say? That's kind of weird, right? I think it's weird. Some people say to smash that sucker. Smash your toast, Tony. Gently press the like button. How about that? Jeff Books, actually a good, hi Jeff, I didn't know you were here. Wiggle it just a little bit. Thank you, Bun Bun. Lily says my soup should go on top of those plantains. I'll be dipping for sure. I live in Denver. I live near Denver. Do you deliver? Haha. That's funny. All right, back to cooking these guys. All right. We are done with this water. I think I dipped all of them, hopefully. This should still be hot enough. Let's find out. Yeah, that's what we want. We're just probably going to cook these 30 or so seconds on each side. So one good thing about moving to a small town is I was there a couple of weeks ago and I was driving around at about 6 or 6:30 at night. And there were like, I kid you not, like 2 cars on the road. And I was just like, enjoyed that moment so hard. I'm like, oh my God, there's no traffic or congestion on this road. This is so amazing. Anybody who lives where I live pretty much knows there's congestion all the time. Everywhere you drive, there's like a million people on the road. I think we just had a lot of growth very fast. And the roads just weren't built for this kind of growth. Probably not unlike a lot of other American cities. Let's look at these guys. They're looking pretty good. All right, another couple seconds. I'm going to take these out. But the worst thing about moving really is just moving. Am I right? You got to pack everything up. You got to throw things out. You got to give stuff to Goodwill. You have to rent a truck or hire movers. You have to move all the stuff. And then you have to unpack everything. Wow. It is like a tremendous amount of work. And then you get to live out of boxes for like, I don't know. Probably some people are really good at it. For me, it always seems like months at a time that I have to live out of boxes. Or like a year later, you're like, man, I haven't seen this thing for a year. Do you know where it is? And then you like never find it again. And you have no idea what happened to this like prized possession of yours that you knew you had before you moved, but now it's just missing forever. Tia says people are crazy drivers now. Yeah, so much. And Sydney says, what heat setting am I using? So I'm doing like a medium high. I want this oil pretty hot. So it's not smoking, but it's probably right under, and I didn't temp it. I would imagine the right temperature is probably around 325. I don't really temp my oil usually, guys. Baking, that's a different story. Making candy, making caramel, things like that. Yeah, you got to temp those things a lot. All right, this is almost done. Did I already flip these? I can't remember. I don't think so. Do I have a taste tester today? I do. I do have a taste tester. I think that's why he helps me, because he gets to taste the food afterwards. All right. These look good. Can you see that guy? A little bit brown on each side. That's what it should look like. Cooked properly, they should result in a crispy, and delicious little treat. Little guy. Turn this heat off. All right, I'm just going to give that some fresh salt. Fresh salt. That's funny. I'm going to give salt while it's hot so that the salt sticks. If you're SOS free, I don't know what you would do with this dish. I don't know that you could ever cook it in the oven to make it crispy like this. I think if you made the maduros, which are like the sweet ones, you could probably do like an oven treatment of that to make it delicious. All right, so the black beans are basically cooked. Everything should be ready. The rice is pretty much done. The tostones are done. So I'm going to use this guy right here. This is an immersion blender, like a really long one. I don't think I just bought this one. Honestly, this is like a cheap one because I never use an immersion blender, but today we are. So it's really up to you how much you want to blend your black beans. I like to have a little texture, so I'm not going to completely blend them. But if you wanted to, you could blend them all the way. If you don't have an immersion blender, you could put it in a regular stand blender. I would be really careful because because it's hot, once it starts blending, it's going to, the volume is going to change. It's going to get much bigger in volume, and it could come out the top and burn you. So you have to be really, really careful. How can I let you guys watch what I'm doing? Let's see. Let's see if you guys can see this right here. Yeah. All right, cool. One thing I didn't do is taste this, so let me just give this a little taste. I haven't added any salt because I did salt the beans when they were cooking, but it's still probably going to need a little bit of salt right now. Wow, so flavorful. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in, but it doesn't really need much. Again, if you're SOS free, leave the salt out. It's fine. It's really got so much flavor even without the salt. All right, here we go. This cord. I think a cordless one would be nice. All right. Ooh, I just made a mess. All right, so I don't know if you can see here. It's pretty thick, which is what I wanted. And it still has some chunks in it, which is what I want as well. So that guy's done. Everything is cooked. I'm going to plate some food, but I want to get this out of here. The oil's still very hot. That thing is very hot too. All right, that'll just have to do. All right. I got my tostones ready. There we go. I'm going to plate some beans and rice or some soup. All right, I pre-cooked some rice. I do like rice underneath my black bean soup. You don't have to have rice. I did not show you how to make rice. If you need to learn how to make rice, there's probably literally a million YouTube videos on it. All right, so I've got some rice in here. I've got some rice. I've got some black bean soup in here. I'm gonna see if this plantain feels very soft, guys. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but we're gonna find out. What'd I call it? It's not a plantain, it's an avocado. I'm so scared. Ah, not too bad. Awesome. So I'm gonna throw some strips in here. All right. And I've got another lime. Just gonna squeeze some of this on top. You could put some cilantro on this if you want. If you wanted a little bit more spice, you could put some jalapenos or whatever pepper of your choice. You could use some hot sauce. Just gonna squeeze some lime on this. And I'm actually gonna do just like a little drizzle of olive oil on top. How's that look, guys? Sometimes this camera just doesn't pick up things that well, but let me tell you, this is going to be really fantastic. I'm going to do one other thing, and I'm going to put some arroz con leche in here. Let me show you what this looks like. It is just like, it kind of looks like oatmeal. It's just really thick and brown from the cinnamon. So I've got this here. It's hard to see everything on this camera. All right. And I was going to put vanilla in it and I forgot. I'm going to do that now, but it won't be on our bite. My husband told me this wasn't one of his favorite dishes growing up, so he might not like this at all. And I'm just going to do a little cinnamon on here. All right, do I have a taster?
My favorite part of the job.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Looks like you got a new shirt.
Yes, I did. Look at that.
Wow, it looks a lot
Beautiful.
more orange on camera. In person, it's more like a
So beautiful.
pinky orange, but Here's your spoon. You can taste anything that you want. You want to try the soup?
Yep.
Me too. It's very hot.
Can I go now?
You're
This is so good.
You're Cuban. What do you say? You think it's so good?
Absolutely delicious.
Did I do a good job?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to try a tostone before you skip off with this bowl of food?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's so good.
Tia, where's your tostones?
I'm eating them. All right.
Why do I roll the lime? It just makes it juicier. Oh, I just want to try the pudding real quick.
Let's try it. Right?
Go ahead. I'm going to use the same spoon. You said you didn't really care for this growing up.
No, but I like it now. I really do. It's really good.
Wow.
So, hot. Be better if it's cooled down, but.
Wow. Okay. Sir.
Yes.
You may take this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take some of that.
Yep. Take a couple tostones.
Bye.
So this actually turned out really delicious. Like I said, I probably haven't made like a rice pudding in, I don't know, more than 20 years, a long, long time. And I did not use a recipe for this. I did read a couple recipes earlier and just decided to kind of wing it on my own. But this turned out really fantastic. I'm surprised. The texture is really, really good. It doesn't have added sugar, but it has the sugar from the condensed milk. And it's lightly cinnamony. And even though this one doesn't have the vanilla, it still turned out really good. The rest should be better because it has the vanilla. All right. Listen, guys, if you liked this video, please give it a like. When you're a new YouTuber, it's really hard to get going. It's super hard to get subscribers. It's really hard to get likes. But all of that helps the algorithm to put my video out there. So for the next 2 weeks, we are moving and getting a new grandson. So the next 2 weeks show will be pre-recorded. It'll still come out at the same time, but I'm going to record them like this weekend and probably just do a minimum amount of editing because honestly, there's just like so much stress. I'm not going to make myself crazy or my family crazy. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Cooking Live with Lala. There's not much content there yet, but there will be. I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And I'm really grateful to you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.